Welcome to Break Free to Brilliance podcast, where heart-centered entrepreneurs, visionaries, and the everyday heroes in your backyard are helping the world break free to live life more purposefully, one story at a time. I am Seema Giri, your host, an award-winning author, entrepreneur, and holistic lifestyle strategist. Today's show is sponsored by Uplift Media. For strategies on how to break free to your brilliance and get your free gift, 10 Ways to Live a Dynamic Life, visit seemagiri.com. Welcome to Break Free to Brilliance podcast. I'm so excited to be here with you today. And today our very special guest is Karina Aragon. She is a #1 international best-selling author from her most recent book, Break Free to Peace, Love, and Unity.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, it's so wonderful to have you again here, Karina. Let me introduce you a little bit formally to Karina. Karina is an entrepreneur, intuitive transformational coach with Lucid Living Movement and international bestselling author of Break Free to Stand in Your Power and Break Free to Peace, Love, and Unity. She loves to inspire, create, and heal. She has been an entrepreneur for over 12 years, creating CK Cleanliving, a successful cleaning and organizing business. Karina desires to assist the collective through the transformation into building the new world. She wants to make a difference in the communities and around the world through inspirational speaking, healing arts, and teaching practical astrology. Her focus is on transformational coaching, art therapy, and astrological chart and card readings. Welcome, Karina. It's so wonderful to have you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate this.
Well, before we get started with this amazing interview, let's do a quick grounding meditation so we can be fully 100% present here and now. So let's close our eyes, taking a deep cleansing breath and exhale. Again, with the next inhale, all the way to your belly. Just exhale any worry, any concerns, or any nervous energy, anything at all that you're feeling. Just let that go. And with your next breath in, I want you to bring your focus to your heart and think of a very special moment or a very happy moment. It could be from any time period of your life. If you want, you can also place your hand over your heart to bring that to your awareness a little bit easier. And just breathe into that and relive that moment as if you're living it for the very first time. Remember the smell of the time. Remember the people around with you and how it made you feel. Feel the joy and the bliss as if you are feeling it for the very first time. And just feel right into that. Next, I would like you to bring into awareness your crown chakra, which is on top of your head, and think of a second happy moment. And relive that moment as if you're living it for the very first time. Again, remember the touch, the smell, the people around you, how you were feeling at that moment. Feel it as if you're feeling it for the very first time. Feel in the joy and the bliss and the excitement and the peace and the unity you felt at that time. Inhale again, exhale. And I would like you to bring your awareness to being right here and present and open up your heart to receiving. We're so used to giving all the time, we forget that we too need to receive and we too can receive and give ourselves permission to receive. The next breath in, just feel into your body. And don't worry about what it is that you need to receive or what might that be. Just trust in the universe and trust in the now and trust that whatever it is, be open to the possibilities of whatever it may be. You will get whatever you need. You don't have to worry about what that might be. Just let go of any thoughts or any think to put yourself into any one particular category. Just be open to receiving, open to love, open to hearing any wisdom that you may need to hear from us today. We all come together for a reason. I don't believe in any accidents. So let's just be here together in the now, right here in the present. With the next breath in, open your eyes. So Karina, what was called upon your heart when we did that meditation?
Just being like super happy and grateful for where I am at and how far I've come, and like just how grateful I am to be a part of a collective that is that's has you in it. And yeah, I love this song. Don't
Beautiful, beautiful.
stop believing.
Yes. Wow, that's a really beautiful song too.
Journey. It's one of my favorite songs. And that was another thing I was thinking during the meditation is I've had some good times with friends karaokeing to this song.
Oh, wonderful. Well, how better can it be than having it play right now?
Yeah, serious.
We can't hear it over here, but still, that's wonderful. Well, a big congratulations to you on your second book and hitting that to #1 international best-selling status.
I know, that's super exciting. I'm happy we got it 2 times in a row.
Yes, yes, that's been great. And it's just been an honor to work with you again the second time, Karina. Can you tell our listeners what inspired you to be part of Break Free to Peace, Love, and Unity?
Absolutely. So, as you all know, I did the anthology Break Free and Stand in Your Power. And that was a super successful anthology, getting international's #1 bestseller. And I had agreed to do that book right after my dog passed away. And I thought, well, this is going to be great, right? This is a productive way to use my energy and channel it into something positive that could help other people. And happened to be Break Free to Peace, Love, and Unity. I decided to do after my dad passed. So to then channel this energy into something productive and something that will also help others through their loss and transformation, and breaking free to stand in their power, and breaking free to peace, love, and unity, which we're seeing right now in the world that we need to have more of that unity.
I just found it also amazing, Karina, how both of our books, we didn't know we're going to be timed perfectly for the situation, right? Which has been a little bit, I mean, I know, we're always guided to do what is supposed to be happening and the timing is always perfect, but to get it this accurate twice in a row has been totally amazing.
Yeah. And definitely the difference from the first book, where the first time you'd asked me and I hadn't been an author yet, and I really had to think about it. I swear it felt like I was thinking about it for like 3 months, asking my guides, praying. And then like I had like 2 owl sightings in one night after asking. I was like, okay, fine, said and done, it's happening. But then when you invited me for the second anthology, it was like a yes, like, yeah, of course. Like my dad had just passed, and I was like, yes. And it was crazy because my dad passed before our launch party of Break Free to Stand in Your Power. And so I felt like I wasn't fully present for that excitement. And so this time it was much different because I would already was writing through my grieving process and really focusing on that. So I'm really glad it came at the time that it came.
Was this a tool to also help you with the grieving process?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's
Oh,
all about transformation is about taking uh, maybe a shadow aspect or a not so happy emotion, feeling, or a stage in your life and transmuting it into something that empowers you and others. And that's what I feel the Break Free series has all been about.
Mm.
Um,
Yes, yes. And that was the whole intention as well. So I'm glad that you were able to experience that too as an author. And that was our intention for our readers, but also people, I'm not sure if they do or do not realize, but as an author, when you're writing, there it's it's a really amazing tool to transform ourselves to the next level as well. And I
mhm.
think that's what makes our readers also feel that, because they can feel, because of that energy that is in there as well, they can feel that. So what
Yeah.
is the name of your chapter, and what can the readers look forward to experiencing from your chapter?
My chapter is Love All the Pieces, Peaces, of the universe, because I thought it was a good play on words with peace, love, and unity. And it's really about like loving all the pieces of you, because as above, so below, everything that's outside of you is inside of you. And it's about working with these energies. Um, yeah, you could look forward to famous quotes in my chapter, some science pointers like laws of physics, and then specific examples on what you can do to support and assist others in a productive way, as well as self-care. Yeah.
That's really great. How do you think, how do you think the message of your chapter is going to serve even during this pandemic time, the extended pandemic time that we're still in?
Yeah. This pandemic was definitely blindsided, I think, most of humanity and the collective. On the scale that it was, I think that it brought a lot of people together, because everything at that time before them was about separation,
Mm,
building walls, out like separation of status, gender, uh, there was so much separation, even in like blue or red, and everything's like so, and that's the thing about the universe, is everything has dichotomy and opposites and balance. But it's about finding these two opposites, just like in astrology, right? You always have a opposite, like Pisces and Virgo. We're in the Pisces new moon right now. What is opposite of Pisces? Virgo. Okay. Pisces has no boundaries. And so it's about like individuals, like we are rivers, right? And when we come together, we make an ocean. That's Pisces. There's no boundaries with Pisces. With Virgo, there is boundaries. There's boundaries. You have to get things done in your daily routines, right? And so we are stronger as an ocean than we are a river.
yeah.
So with peace, love, and unity, that's how I see this book being a really good tool during this time of a pandemic. Having compassion and empathy is so important during this time. So that's some specific examples on what you can do to support and assist others.
Yeah, and I think we need an extra dosage of empathy and compassion during this time. And when we talk about having empathy and compassion, generally it's always taken to be towards other people. But I think it's equally as important, if not more important, to have that for yourself as well. What are your
Absolutely.
thoughts?
Yeah. I'm a big advocate on self-care, because I feel that when you have more self-care and self-love, then you have more to give.
Mhm.
You're filling up your own cup, so you could feed thirsty men. And that's what Aquarius is. Aquarius is an air sign, but it is the water bearer, right? So you have all this water and you're storing it to to give to others. That's what Aquarius is about. It's about the collective. It's about being a humanitarian and a philanthropist, you know? And so, yeah, I think that answered your question. I'm not sure.
Yes, yes. So you said it's important to fill your cup, and it's important to give from the
Yeah.
overflow.
Self-care. Yeah. Like I felt like I've been going and going and giving and giving. And I decided to go out of town and go to a hot spring. And here I am. I'm at this beautiful vineyard where people are letting me use their space. And it's about the adventure. It's
Mm.
about the process, not so much about the destination and getting to where you're going. It's just going with the flow. And that's what Pisces is about in this new moon that we sit at right now.
Going with the flow, and that is so important. It's so important to remember that it is adventure. It is about the journey. Everyone is so worried about getting to the destination that they're
Mhm.
forgetting to really enjoy the journey, even though it's so tough right now with everything happening. What do
Mhm.
you think some of the gifts of pandemic have been, even though it's been a really difficult time of loss and separation? Even we couldn't be with our loved ones who've passed on. But do you think there are some gifts of the pandemic?
Absolutely. I feel like it is the catalyst for change. I think we were all in our own zone, kind of like, you know, when you get into a routine and a system, that Saturn, you kind
Mm,
of lose that Jupiter, that expansion, that that arrow of aspiring, you know. And so I think people were so busy on just trying to pay their mortgages and their rent and feeding their family that they forgot about what is truly important in their life. And when this pandemic took people's jobs away and their kids were at home, they thought, you know what? The most important thing in my life is being surrounded by people that I love. And as well as a lot of people that have passed on. We lost a lot of people, not only to COVID, but through depression
mm,
and confusion. I mean, death is just a part of living,
yeah.
right? That's the opposite of life is
Yes.
death. So we have this dichotomy. And I think that it just like, it really like, I feel like woke people up
Hmm.
to what really matters in life. So yeah, I think it was
Yeah.
the catalyst for the change that we are seeing in the world about unifying and being on purpose and being in complete like love and unity and like moving towards one's divine purpose and destiny. I'd say I think it helped speed up the evolution of humanity on a soul level.
I agree. Yes, I think it has been on a soul level, and at some level, it has forced the entire globe to really, really start the healing process
Mhm.
of at an individual level, if they're able to receive that, if they're able to recognize that. But I think a lot of people have been able to recognize that. And I
Mhm.
think the other part of the pain part of the pandemic is that people have been forced to actually look at and resolve things that they've been avoiding for a really long time.
Sure.
And that's
Yeah.
helping them come back to,
Mhm.
break free from whatever challenges they're having, and to embrace peace, love, and unity, embrace the diversity.
Mhm. Like
And
when you're super busy,
yeah,
can't
yeah,
you can't process things. You have a hard time digesting things, you know.
they've
And
been able
so
to
the
go
pandemic kind of
inwards.
slowed everything and everyone down where they can really see what is important. Sure.
Yeah, and I think that's what people have been able to embrace themselves also. And that's what our book, Break Free to Peace, Love, and Unity, has. The authors have actually written all of those aspects. So hopefully our intention with this book is to even carry it on as another catalyst to get to that level where people can heal even more and really embrace the peace, love, and unity aspect, not only with themselves, but with people around them as well.
Instead of the
As
division.
you were writing this chapter this time around, what do you feel has been your growth as an author?
I feel that there is an art for sure to writing. And I feel like it's something that can't necessarily be forced. You kind of have to like go and roll and really think and apply things that are happening into your life. You can have a vision as what you want to write about, but sometimes that's not how it's going to unfold. It is really, I feel, you write for where you are at that time and what you're experiencing. Where the last book, I did the same thing, but it was more about I'm writing at where I am right now when I'm writing. And that really helps to start the flow of the creative process, because you can't write if you're not in flow.
Right. Right.
So I feel like in this second anthology, I did more about the title and what I was going through and how I see how the reader will be able to use and apply the tips that I give in my chapter, because I do quote, I have like, I broke down the title, Peace, Love, and Unity, and I used each acronym as what I think peace is, like patience, right? Empathy. And then I quoted famous quotes. Like, I love Mark Twain. I think he's a great author, and I love his books. I mean, he's a big, huge part of English history, you know.
Yes.
But he's also like close to my heart. And so I did quote a lot of his, and then I talk about what that quote means to me and how we could apply it. So I thought I made this chapter a little more like reader friendly, where you could take it and then you could apply it in practical form.
Right.
Where Break Free to Stand in Your Power was kind of like introducing myself to the world and how I broke free to stand in my power. So that's how my two chapters of the book differed.
No, yeah, it's a great way of doing it. It gives you really good instant practical tools that the reader can apply in their own lives right away too. Were there any surprises for you as you were writing this time around?
Yes. Like I said, you always want your message to get across a certain way. And so right away, I'm like, okay, I got my acronyms. I'm going to put my words, and then I'm going to write about each word that associates with the chapter. And then I had them all out and they didn't flow. So, so what I had to do was rearrange and connect each paragraph. But then what happened? The acronyms in the read didn't match up with the peace, love, unity. And so they're all mixed up, and the reader kind of has to guess what the heck's going on until the end. At the end of my chapter, I went ahead and I spelled it out. But I think that's just how life is. You know, we could plan things to go a certain way and we could be set on our plans, but you know, life always throws us curveballs, and you just kind of have to let go of control and embrace the ebb and flow of life, you know.
So in other words, it came out perfectly the way it was supposed to be.
Perfectly imperfect, because I'm a Virgo moon, and we all like things to be perfect.
Exactly. And I think that's what we're trying to get across also, that We are perfect in the imperfect way that we are in. And this is what we're meant to be. So rather than trying to make yourself perfect, just look at your strengths. Everyone has strengths. Look at your strengths and bring that forward, because that is what you're meant to bring forward in this lifetime. That is your gift.
Yes.
Now you
Yeah.
mentioned, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
You mentioned that you mentioned some tips in your chapter. What is that one tip that you can share with the audience right now?
All right. So having peace is having patience,
Mm,
and it's patience in the process. So in my chapter, I put patience. That's a part of peace. That's the first word of peace. And I use my quote. It's probably the only quote that I'm quoting in this book, but visualize, take action, and trust in the process. And that is, to me, the way that we can find success. Know that everyone is on their own timeline and pace, right? That's about patience, because our timelines are different than other people's timelines, right? We can be in a
mm,
hurry, but the person in front of us might be on a flow day where they're not in a hurry and they decided to just go with the flow, right? So knowing that everyone's on their own timeline and pace. And then Saturn, the planet of karma and restriction, brings blessings of hard work and diligence, right? So we have to take action. Saturn says take action in the physical world. As Jupiter, the planet of luck and expansion, it promises luck and chance, and this expansion and contraction, expansion and contraction with Saturn and Jupiter work together. So stay steady and hopeful as the planets spin into your direction, and then have a vision and a purpose filled life while creating opportunities, and let the universe just do the rest. You know, it's like I got this lucky lady, her name's Seema Giri. Like, she came into my life, right? And I said, okay, I'll do it. I'll do the hard work. I'll do the
mm.
work, and then I'll let the universe do the rest. And that's what it's about, right? That's life. You have opportunities. We could either choose to take the opportunity or leave the opportunity. We have a choice. You know, it says in the Bible, we choose.
Yes, yes. No, I totally um, agree with you on that. You have to take action, and you have to let it happen in its own time. It happens in your divine timing, and it's not always the time
Yeah,
that we want. But it's
exactly.
important to stay in action, because if you're not in action, you're not going to get the opportunities. You're not going to be able to say yes and move forward. And sometimes people think it's hard to sometimes understand that the things coming forward to you is an opportunity.
Yeah.
How do you recognize that as an opportunity that you should take or maybe not take?
I think you just feel it. I think you feel it. Sometimes I just roll the dice. You know, sometimes I'll write little papers in a hat. Should I? Yes or no? Okay, ready? Pull it out. And then how I feel about what I pulled, I'll know. If I
Mm,
pulled a no, don't do it, and I was upset that I got that, I know I need to go the other way.
okay. These are the little nuances that people, not everyone really understands and realizes. But not making a decision is not taking an action too.
Yeah,
Many people think, okay, I'm just gonna go with the
that's
flow,
a,
and now
that's a
deciding that's
decision.
not going with the flow. You
Yeah.
need to make a decision, a yes or a no, and then go forward, and that's how things will start unfolding. Well, that is a great tip, Karina. Um, is there anything else that you would like to add for our listeners?
Um, yeah, I mean, the thing about me and really embracing astrology is it helps with evolution and growth. When you know your astrology birth chart, you could then learn more about yourself because it's your soul's DNA. And that's why I like to use the astrology birth chart when I'm life coaching, helping people. Then I can know there's certain styles. You know how there's the personality test and there's the attachment test. All that could actually be found into your birth chart and more. You don't have to take a test, it's there. You
Mm,
know, if you have an astrologist, they could look at your chart and they could see what your communication style is, what your attachment style is, what your emotional needs, what your love language is, what your personality style is. Like all of this is found within an astrology birth chart. And I started seeing, because you get to look at yourself in a objectively. And
mm,
sometimes that takes the egos out of the way, right? You're like, oh, this is my chart. Like, oh, look, it says that I'm very nitpicky and critical. Well, I don't want to know that. I don't think I'm like that. But then when you take that and you look further into it, am I that way? And then you could work on those aspects. Well, what's the opposite of that? Oh, it's going with the flow and accepting people for who and what they are, because we're all on our different timelines and pace, right? So astrology to me has really changed my life in a very positive way. And you could probably ask anyone that knew me before and knows me now that I am definitely a more well-rounded, understanding person. Yeah. So, but I'm really glad that this both books have come out during such a crucial time,
mm,
because we are all giving birth to a new world. It's a new existence. And giving birth is painful, right? Like if you're having a child, like the birthing part is probably the most painful, because when you're having a, when you're pregnant and walking around with your baby, like you're glowing, people are like, then you have I have the baby in my arms and a sense of unconditional love. And look at this beautiful thing I've created. Like, oh, she's so sweet and she's so cute and she
mm,
loves me. But no one sees what happens in the hospital, right?
yeah.
It's just painful. It's not only painful for the mother, but it's painful for the child. So not only is the collective going through pain, birthing pains, growing pains, but also the earth is, because of the magnetic pole shift that's happening, this global warming, and these whole earth is shifting and changing. And so it's painful for Gaia and humanity because we're all one. And there's just a lot of things that we're experiencing, a lot of things that we're finding out in science. And so as above, so below. It's also, we're finding out a lot about us as a humanity. So all in that at that, definitely stay tuned. I'm working on teachables. I'm going to be doing workshops and content creation. And yeah, you could find that at www.lucidlivingmovement.com. And I have a lot that's going to be going on, like how to read an astrology birth chart and how to work with your astrology birth chart.
Wow, that's wonderful. It's so many wonderful things to look forward to. So what you're saying is that your your birth chart astrology can be a really important tool in helping you figure out your life's purpose, what kind of
Yep.
person you are, or maybe what kind of, even within your family. And the more you know about yourself, this is an easy tool rather than going through life trying to figure out. Use this as a good tool to learn more about yourself so then you can become the better version, or know how to deal with the different ways rather than being confused. And then we can look forward to all the other courses that you're coming up with to have a better understanding.
Yes. I'm glad you said that, because the most important part of your birth chart is your north node, which is Rahu. It's your destiny point, and that's where you have the least experience and why you're here to
Mhm.
satisfy. That's where you're going to find most of your happiness and growth and evolution is in your north node. So,
Wow. Amazing. I know as Indians, we use that in astrology and almost everything, especially in marriages and any
Oh
important
yeah.
activities that we do, but particularly in marriages to make sure things are lined up and things are going to work out. So yeah, I totally second that. Karina, thank you so much for being on our show today. It was so
Thank you.
wonderful to have you here. It's always a great learning experience for me. I'm sure it is going to be for our readers and our listeners.
Yes, I'm excited. Thank you, Seema, for having me. I appreciate you and both the books that we have been in together.
Thank you for joining us for this interview. I hope you've gained some insights and or tips that you can implement right away. For more interviews like this, please visit us at seemagiri.com or visit our YouTube channel, Break Free to Brilliance with Seema Giri. Until next time, have a great day.